Hello you guys, today I'm answering all of your questions about renting DVC points. I just recently shared a video where I compare the process of renting points to booking directly through Disney. So if you want to check that out, I'll have that video linked down below. But I thought doing a Q&A would be a good follow-up to that video, and you guys had some awesome questions over on Instagram. So we are just gonna jump right into it because there's a lot. The first question is, what is the best time to book? The best time would be 11 months out. That is as far in advance as you can book. So if you have your heart set on a specific resort and room type and week, I would definitely get that request in 11 months in advance. Once you get past the 7-month mark, availability starts to dwindle really quick. So make sure you get that request in 11 months in advance. What are the most expensive and least expensive times to rent points? So the least expensive times are gonna be January and September, and I would say even that first week of December. Those are really great times to rent DVC points because the points are gonna be a little bit lower per night. And then the most expensive times to rent points are gonna be Christmas week, Thanksgiving, pretty much all of the month of March for spring break, the week leading up to Easter. So all of those big holidays, that's gonna be the most expensive time to rent points. Do you ever miss the Disney feel that other resorts have? So to clarify, DVC resorts are basically deluxe Disney resorts. You're just staying in a different room type. So these are still Disney resorts. You're still staying on property. It's just a dedicated section of that resort, if that makes sense. So it's still a Disney resort. You're still on property. All of the feels and the Disney magic is still the same. Can we rent points if we live in the UK? Yes, absolutely. I know lots of families who are from the UK and they love renting DVC points, or they even own their own DVC contract. So if you're from the UK, you can totally take advantage of renting DVC points. What happens if you have to postpone or even cancel your trip? Do they offer refunds? Depending on which DVC rental company you book through, most do not offer a cancellation policy. But with the DVC rental store, they are the one DVC rental company that does offer a cancellation policy. So if you are 120 days prior to your check-in day, you'll receive 100% credit back in your name. So it's not a full refund, but whatever you have paid up until that point, you get a credit to book a future stay, which is really, really great. And then once you get past that 120-day mark and you're getting closer to your check-in day, that percentage gets less and less, which, you know, totally makes sense. But DVC Rental Store does offer a cancellation policy, so there is some flexibility with that. In case you do need to cancel for whatever reason, you can take those funds that you have put into that trip and use it on a future vacation. This question was asked quite a few times. Can you rent points without being a DVC member? Yes, absolutely. Anyone can rent points. You do not have to be a member to rent DVC. What are the most affordable DVC resorts to rent points from? So those resorts are gonna be Old Key West, Saratoga Springs, Animal Kingdom Villas, and I would put Boardwalk Villas in there as well. Those are gonna be the 4 resorts that require the lowest amount of points per night to book. This next question was asked a handful of times, and that is, which DVC rental company do I recommend? So we have actually tried 4 different DVC companies. We've tried the DVC Rental Store, David's Vacation Club Rentals, Shop DVC, and Red Week. And all 4 are great. I have nothing negative to say about any of these companies. We've always had a great experience, but the one I would recommend out of all 4 is the DVC Rental Store, only because the other 3 do not offer any kind of cancellation policy. And with DVC Rental Store, only 25% of your total is required upfront to book, and then you can make payments along the way, and your balance is due 75 days prior to check-in. So I really love the flexibility that DVC Rental Store offers with the deposit and their cancellation policy. It just makes it a little more doable at the thought of renting points as compared to with other companies. You do have to pay in full upfront, and then there is 0 cancellation policy. So that's why I'm recommending DVC Rental Store. I truly believe, I've said this in my other DVC videos now too, I truly believe they're the best of the best for that very reason. They have amazing customer service, and then the flexibility that the payment plan provides and their cancellation policy. It's just really nice having a little more flexibility there. So that's why I would pick the DVC rental store out of those 4 options that we've tried. The next question is, can you link more than one reservation to make a longer stay? So how you would go about doing that, you would basically just need to have 2 separate reservations. You would have 2 confirmation numbers, but you could totally do that. We've done that before. We've rented points at Grand Floridian and we did a 2-night stay in a studio, and then we did a 2-night stay in a 1-bedroom at Old Key West. Both were points that we had rented, and I just made sure to match up the reservations to where our check-in days synced up on that overlapping split stay day, if that makes sense. So it is an extra step that you have to go through to have those 2 reservations, but we've done it before and it worked out great. And yes, you can absolutely have 2 separate reservations if you wanted to have a split stay to make your trip a little bit longer. Top 5 favorite DVC resorts in order. So I actually just shared my top 5 DVC resorts for toddlers, and as I'm thinking about it, that would probably still be my top 5 DVC resorts even without a toddler. So if you don't have kids and you're thinking, oh, well, that video is not for me, I don't know, maybe still check it out. I really love all 5 of those resorts, and that would probably still be my top 5 pick. Again, even without a toddler. Can you combine renting points with owned points? Yes, absolutely. If you are a DVC owner and say you have enough points to get you 4 nights at a studio, but you really have your heart set on staying a full week, then you could add on 3 additional nights by renting points. Again, it would be a separate reservation, so you would most likely have to change rooms if you are wanting to stay at the same resort, or you can always talk to the front desk at the resort when you check in and just see what the possibility is about staying in that same room, even though you have 2 separate confirmation numbers and it's 2 separate reservations. But yes, you can absolutely combine rented points with owned points. It would just be 2 separate confirmation numbers. Can you bring a crock pot to the 1-bedroom villas at Old Key West? Yes, you can absolutely bring whatever you want to bring with you. I have heard of so many families bringing crock pots, and that is a great way to save on dining. You know, cook your family a full meal in a crock pot. I mean, you head out to the parks that morning and you've got dinner going in the crock pot for when you get home. Sounds pretty great. Okay, this next question, DVC or Bonnet Creek, family of 5, and we need the space. So both options are gonna give you the same amount of space, I would say, you know, considering you go the 1 or 2 bedroom route. But Bonnet Creek, of course, with that being off property and a non-Disney, non-DVC resort, it's of course gonna be more affordable. So we've stayed in a 2-bedroom villa at Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek for just over $100 a night. And even with renting points, I can't say you'll find something for $100 a night for a 2-bedroom villa. So if that's more your budget, I would go the Bonnet Creek route because you can get the 2 bedrooms, the full kitchen, washer and dryer, 2 bathrooms. You know, it's really great, and you have all the amenities of this great resort. It's just not on property. You just have to weigh the cost, what's gonna be more of a priority for your family, more affordable accommodations with the space, or would you rather be on Disney property and pay a little bit more? I mean, you could get, again, I've mentioned this before, you can get a 1 or 2 bedroom villa at Old Key West or even Saratoga Springs for sometimes the same cost as a studio at Copper Creek or Grand Floridian. So, you know, it's still gonna be saving you a ton of money to go the 1 or 2 bedroom route at Old Key West or Saratoga, but you'll still save significantly more money by going the Bonnet Creek route. Do you prefer to buy park tickets with the DVC rental store or the Disney website? So up until recently, we have always purchased our tickets through the Disney website just because it's easy, but I am planning to use the discounted tickets with the DVC rental store for an upcoming trip later this year. So I'm really excited to try that out, but I priced it out, and for what did I price it out at? 3 or 4 day ticket, we were gonna save about $70 by using the DVC rental store. So I'm really excited to give it a try. Will you talk about buying tickets and dining reservations and how it works? So I know I just mentioned you can purchase discounted tickets through the DVC rental store, but you will need to purchase tickets in addition to the DVC points that you have rented. So they're 2 completely separate purchases. So make sure that you purchase your tickets separately after you have rented DVC points. And then with dining reservations, you still get access to that 60-day dining window where you can book 60 days out plus the length of your stay. So it's exactly the same as if you had booked directly through Disney. You get all of those same perks. So same 60-day window, and yeah, it's all the same. I'd love a complete walkthrough of the process from your point of view. I included a little bit of that in the other DVC rental video that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So if you want to see a portion of the booking process that I did a screen recording of, head over and check out that video. You know, I share a little bit more of the process from start to finish if you want to hear that in a little more detail. What's the cheapest price per point you look for? 23 all seems too high. So $23 per point, I would say, is a pretty standard price per point when you are renting DVC points. So for example, if you're totally confused, let's say that a boardwalk studio standard view is 15 points per night and you are renting those points for $23 per point, 11 months out. So 15 times 23 is $345 for your standard view studio at the boardwalk. That is a very typical standard rate for a DVC rental for one night at the boardwalk. But with the DVC rental store, sometimes they have deals going on where you can rent points at $19 per point at the 7-month mark or less. So that is what we did for an upcoming stay later on this year. So we got a really great deal. So let's say that same night at the boardwalk, 15 points for that standard view studio times 19 is $285. So a little bit less. So I would say $19 per point is usually what I look for. That's me feeling like I've got a really good deal. And then sometimes if you look on the dedicated reservation tab, you'll find some pretty insane deals for last minute stuff. I've seen things for $12 per point. Let's say there's a 1-bedroom at Animal Kingdom Lodge and I don't know how many points. Let's say it's 32 points per night. And they have it listed at $12 per point, which I have seen before. So let's say we've got that 32 times 12. That puts that 1-bedroom at Animal Kingdom Lodge at $384. So that's pretty good when you're thinking about a 1-bedroom villa. So you can find some pretty good deals, but $23 per point is a very standard price. And then $19 per point is gonna be like, yes, that's a good deal. Do you find it's more time consuming, more steps than booking straight from the resort? You are gonna factor in a few more steps, right? I mean, you have to look and find availability, kind of figure out what you want, submit your request, and then you'll wait for the DVC rental store or whoever to get back with you. And then they'll reach out to an owner, and that can sometimes take up to 24 hours to get them to book that reservation for you. You get that confirmation number back, input it into your My Disney Experience account, you know, so there's quite a few steps to it. But I would say most of the time, the entire process takes about 24 hours. So if you need something and that security of like, I need a reservation right now in this moment, I can't wait, I need to know, then renting DVC points may not be for you. But I would say most of the time I'm able to have a reservation secured within 24 hours. Do rooms that aren't booked ever keep going down in price, or is it a fixed price when listed? So prices are never gonna change. The points per night are just what they are. So there's a point chart for every single year, and that is the fixed points that that night is gonna cost at that resort for that room type. So just because you book last minute doesn't mean that the price is gonna change. The only time that applies is if you are looking at a dedicated reservation and someone already has that resort booked, and instead of canceling that reservation, they're gonna try to rent out those points at a discounted rate, and they get to decide as the owners how much they want to basically charge for that. So that's the only time that you would find a deal like that where the price would change. But other than that, if you're booking 11 months out, 7 months out, it's a fixed price, and it's just, it is what it is. That's how many points that room type costs per night. Do you think you get treated differently because you rented DVC points and aren't actually DVC? So no one will actually know that you rented DVC points unless you are outwardly communicating that. Even on the side of the front desk, what they see on their end is that you are staying on DVC points. So they have no way of knowing if you are the owner or if you rented the points. They just see that you are staying on points. So no, you will never get treated differently because you are renting points and not the owner. It's all the same on the side of Disney. Grocery delivery, should you get a refillable mug since you have a kitchen? That is totally up to you. Personally, if I was really into like Diet Coke or something, I would just get a case of Diet Coke delivered to our villa and just keep that in the refrigerator, and then I wouldn't even have to worry about doing the refillable mug. But again, totally up to you. If you feel like you're gonna take advantage of the refillable mug and that is a really great value for you, then go for it. But personally, I would just get drinks delivered to our villa and keep them in the refrigerator. How do you navigate moving luggage for split stays? Disney makes this so easy. All you have to do is take your luggage down to Bell Services, or you can have Bell Service come to your room and they'll take it for you. But we've always just brought our own luggage down to the Bell Services desk, and we tell them which resort we are transferring to. They'll put a special tag on our luggage that indicates which resort to send that luggage to, and then we can go have a great day at Epcot or Magic Kingdom or at the pool or whatever, and our luggage is transferred to that next resort for us. The only downside to this is that it takes quite a while for your luggage to get to that next resort. So don't plan on seeing your luggage again until, I would say, 5 o'clock, between 4 and 5 o'clock. So if there's something that you know that you need out of your luggage before dinner time, make sure you have that with you. And especially if you are needing things for nap time for your baby or toddler, make sure you have all that with you, or just plan on letting that day be a stroller nap day. Split stays have always worked great for us with renting DVC points because we've always had a car. So we've always been able to take our luggage with us, and then we have access to, my toddler's nap time essentials at 2 o'clock when our room is ready, and we can just run out to the car and bring our own stuff in. But if we're doing a split stay where we need certain things out of our luggage, specifically for my toddler, you'll just need to think through that a little bit more specifically, because again, you won't see that luggage until around 4 or 5 o'clock. Okay, and the last question, I'm gonna end it after this one. What are the cons to renting DVC points? The only cons I can think of, honestly, there are so many pros that the cons are difficult to think of, because especially with DVC Rental Store, you have the cancellation policy, you have the flexibility to make a 25% deposit and then pay along the way. So the only con would be that you don't have the freedom to modify your reservation. So if your plans changed and you wanted to take away one night or add on a night, your reservation has to be as is, and there's really no changing it once you've locked it in. So that would probably be the biggest con, is that you can't make any modifications to that reservation or make any upgrades to it or downgrades, or once you've locked in, these are the dates, this is the room type, this is the resort, you really can't change anything about it. The only option would be canceling completely and taking advantage of that credit that the DVC Rental Store offers, but that would probably be the biggest con. All right, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you guys so much for all of your awesome DVC rental questions. If you have anything else you want answered, leave it down below in the comments and I would love to chat more with you. So make sure to check out the DVC Rental Store. I will have my affiliate link with them listed down below in the description box. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed for more DVC rental content, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.